As an incoming freshman into the marching band world, we're all very scared at some point in our lives about that. There's these seniors that they're like so big and so... Then you have your juniors who are like almost there, but they're not there yet. They may be vying for drum major at that point. Then you have your sophomores who are like the gap, the freshmen to the upperclassmen. As a freshman in either college or high school marching band, how do you prep for band camp? Well, today we're going to talk about just that. Hey everyone, I'm Underworld Guardian, and today on Marching Arts 101, we're going to talk about how you can prep for band camp. I comprised a list of 6 steps. Number 1, bring a pair of shoes or invest in a pair of shoes that you don't really care if they get wrecked. I used one pair of sneakers for only marching band for 5 years. Now prior to that, it was my gym sneakers, but then they transferred over to my marching band sneakers because at that point, they started getting wrecked. There was holes in the mesh, the lining was coming off, there was paint and grass and turf all over my shoes. And my mom was like, you need to get rid of these because they're really crapped out. And I'm like, but they're my band shoes, like they're sentimental to me. Regardless, you need to know that your shoes will get wrecked because my high school was fortunate enough to practice on our turf field. Some other high schools may have to march in a parking lot or on a grass field or somewhere else that isn't turf or isn't good for the shoes. Keep that in mind when you're going into band camp, to have a pair of shoes that you don't care if they get messed up and that they're cheap. So if they get messed up, then you could buy a new pair and you're not wasting $80 on getting band camp shoes. Get what I'm saying here? All right, let's move on to the second point. Number 2, condition yourself. Now, some of you might be thinking like, why do I have to condition myself? It's marching band. It shouldn't be that intense, right? It's not like I'm trying to become a pro football player here, right? Well, funny story about that. Maybe not so much for high school band, depending on your program and all that stuff. But I know going into college marching band, I was not prepared for what I had to do. We were out on the field for maybe 8 hours out of the day, doing basics, learning drill, just being on the field, just being in the heat and very tired. Here's like sub-point, you can condition yourself in 2 ways. Number 1, physically conditioning yourself in terms of exercising before you get onto the field. Like go either before the band camp starts, like maybe a month or a few weeks before, you start maybe exercising on the treadmill, start walking, you start getting your cardiovascular system used to just moving around instead of lazing around your house all day. Because it's a major difference from going from just sitting all day to moving literally all day. You want to get your body used to that before you go into band camp. And the second way you can condition yourself is by just getting out in the sun. Like even if you just walk around outside, like in the sun, you're at least preparing yourself for the conditions that you're going to be putting yourself in. So for example, maybe before band camp, you take the time, maybe like 20 minutes of your day and just walk around outside. Now, if you're gonna do that, I recommend sunscreen, because if you're very pale like me, then you're gonna get sunburned. So it's also prepping yourself to put on mass amounts of sunblock. So there's that. But you're also like prepping yourself to what it's gonna feel like. You're gonna get used to yourself feeling sweaty and feeling icky after being outside for a little while. So those are ways you can condition yourself before band camp. Point number 3, practice your instrument. I kid you not, please. When you get off from school in May or June, most of you probably aren't gonna touch your instrument until you get back to band camp. Don't do that, that's a no-no. Because you're gonna be also deconditioned in that, referring to my last point. So you also wanna condition yourself to start playing again. Get yourself used to what it's like to stand up and play. Because if you're a classical musician like me, where we sit in wind ensemble and just sit there and play, standing up and playing is completely different. Standing and marching and playing your instrument is completely different than just sitting down and reading music. So you have to get yourself used to it. Maybe like For example, if you're at home, maybe it's raining outside so you can't go outside and do your daily walk. Maybe instead you take out your instrument and you do some long tones, you do some scales while standing, marking time, maybe marching back and forth in a small area of your house. Do something to at least prep yourself for playing. So when you get into band camp, it's not like, oh my god, I forgot how to play my instrument, because that's bad. Now moving on to point number 4, which is get to know your section. Because regardless if you're going into high school or college marching band, particularly college marching band, you're not going to know most of the people you're going to be working with. So it might be really scary going into a new experience and be like, oh my god, I don't know anyone. It's a good thing to, like, especially if your section tries to communicate with you before band camp even starts. So, like, maybe, like, school just got out and then they're like, hey, we're gonna get together and make t-shirts, we're gonna get together and, like, have a little sectional before band camp starts. Take advantage of that. Of course, if your schedule works with that. Take advantage of it, because it's always good to try to get to know the people you're gonna be working with before you actually start working with them, because it lets you get to know how people learn and how to possibly run your section. And it gets you used to, like, okay, these are the people I'm going to be working with, this is how I should work things. You're going to probably be friends with a lot of these people. Only being in one season of college marching band, I am really close to my section, especially my section leaders. We're not counting in the point that they're both in the clarinet studio, so if they weren't in the clarinet studio, I'm still rather close to them. Getting to know them is kind of a cool thing and a great thing, because if there's a problem, you're more likely to go to them and ask, hey, I need help with something, could you help me? Even if it's not marching band related, you can be like, hey, I'm having a personal issue, could you, like, help me with this? So it's kind of cool to get to know your section a little bit before you go into band camp. Now we move to point number 5. Attend summer rehearsals. Again, my high school was fortunate enough to have summer rehearsals. I don't know if every high school does it, or if every college does it. I don't even know if colleges go that far. If your band offers summer rehearsals and you're an incoming freshman who has no idea how to march, go to them. I strongly recommend it, because there's a few points to that. Number 1, you start to get to learn the basics before band camp starts. So it's more of like a prolonged process to get you into, like, okay, this is what you're going to be doing, this is what marching is, before even day 1 of band camp. So you're not struggling on day 1 trying to keep up with everyone else who already knows this concept. It also goes back to the conditioning point I made earlier. If you attend summer rehearsals, you're getting yourself used to, like, okay, this is what I'm going to be doing every day, I'm going to be out in the heat every day, maybe not for that long period of time, but you're getting yourself used to it, you're getting acclimated to it, so you're going to become used to it so it doesn't affect you as much when you actually get to band camp. If your band is very competitive and you guys, like, always go out to compete at nationals, think of it like, if everyone comes in on the first day of band camp knowing their music and knowing how to march, you can start drill on day 1, because everyone already knows the basics. Why bother teaching it when everyone knows it? You can get a jump start on drill, even, like, at the first day of band camp. I remember during my senior year of high school, like, they were pushing people to come to summer rehearsals so that we don't have to go over basics on the first day, so we could start drill immediately. And that got us really far. We learned the entire show, drill, music, and I think some visuals and the giant dance at the end of it during the first week and a half of band camp. And we did like 10 days of band camp. That's a lot. So you're already cleaning stuff by the end of band camp. So that's like a huge thing, especially if your band's really competitive. If you have summer rehearsals, attend them. They are so crucial, and not only that, you get to learn, you get to meet your section members, and you get to meet other people within the band before anyone else. So you get to start forming friendships and like people to go to before band camp even starts, so you're not walking on the first day of band camp and be like, I don't know anyone. Attend those summer rehearsals if they are offered. All depends if they're offered. We go into my last point. Point number 6. Go in with a good mental mindset. You might be asking me, what does this mean? Like, of course I'm gonna have a good mindset. Well, are you sure about that? When we hear people say, oh, band camp's terrible, oh, band camp is not fun at all, we start forming a mindset like, okay, I should be expecting band camp to be the worst thing ever, and I'm not gonna have any fun. You don't wanna come in with that mindset at all, because that's just gonna ruin the experience for you. Plus, if any little thing bad that happens, you're gonna say, oh, this is why people hate band camp. It's important for me to go in with a good mental mindset, because if I don't, I'm not gonna have as much fun, I'm not gonna wanna do as much, I'm gonna be extremely lazy. Because in psychology, there's this thing called manifest destiny. So if you start thinking, oh my god, I'm not gonna enjoy band camp, your brain is gonna wanna fulfill that destiny. So every little thing that happens that is deemed bad, maybe for example, it's like scorching hot skies, no clouds, you're gonna be like, oh my god, this is why people hate band camp. It's gonna start fulfilling that destiny of band camp is terrible, and I shouldn't like band camp. Instead, you wanna feel positive thoughts like, oh, band camp's gonna be a great opportunity to, if you're in college, move into the dorms early, I get to set up my dorm before everyone else is here, I get to meet all these awesome people, so I know people before the first day of school, I get to learn the layout of the school, da-da-da-da-da. You wanna come in with a mental mindset so your brain automatically starts fulfilling like a positive mindset for band camp when you get there. So if like something happens, like, oh, it's sunny out, but we're learning drill, so that's fun. So it's important to go in with a good mental mindset so that you can get the best experience possible, so you don't feel miserable and be like, why did I do this? So that's really important. That's all my points, and we're gonna do a quick review right now. Number 1, you had a pair of sneakers that you don't care about. Number 2, condition yourself in more ways than one. Number 3, practice your instrument. Number 4, make friends with your section. Number 5, attend summer rehearsals. And last but not least, number 6, have a good mental mindset when you come into band camp. That's all we're going to be doing today in terms of marching band. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please put them in the description, or not the description, the comment section below. I will gladly look at them and maybe take them into consideration for my next vlog. I don't even know what this is anymore. Is it a vlog? I don't know. If you like what you're seeing, hit the subscribe button and the like button and maybe comment below. It's up to you. And I will see you guys in the next video. Underworld Guardian, out.